I feel like there's so much talk in the reseller community right now about, are you on Whatnot? Are you on eBay? Are you still on eBay? Are you still on Whatnot? I'm starting to wonder that people are confused and think there's like a non-compete disclosure that you have to sign when you join one or the other. Like, you can sell on eBay and you can sell on Whatnot. And in fact, I think you'll find that no matter what you source, there are certain things that you source to sell that are going to sell better, faster, or for more money on Whatnot. And there are also items that you source to sell that are going to sell better, faster, and for a lot more money on eBay. Alrighty. Today I'm going to walk you through what has been one of my best and most profitable Whatnot flips, but I feel like it wouldn't be fair to just talk about my greatest Whatnot flips without telling you guys about a few of my best eBay flips. Like, is McDonald's without Burger King? We need competitiveness in any marketplace, you guys. Where eBay struggles, Whatnot may excel, and vice versa. They need each other to make them better. For many resellers, I understand like one has completely replaced the other, or again, vice versa, but for me, I enjoy selling on both the platforms, and I try not to really compare them because it is literally comparing apples and oranges for what I sell. One of my best eBay flips of all time was during the shutdown. I had a few weight plates and I offered them to an acquaintance of ours because her gym had shut down. She said, I do not want those. And that made me think, how much are these weights maybe selling for on eBay? Turns out weights were selling for a lot of money. I sold all of the weight plates and hand weights that we had at our house. Now, we'll get into how I shipped those later, but it made me think, where can I get weights? Because there was like suddenly a mad rush on these weights. Well, I reached out to a few people I knew that had random weights, I'm not kidding, in their front yard. One of the people that I messaged had this like homemade tree, weight tree, and there were more than 75 weight plates, I would say, on this thing. He wanted $75 for the whole thing. I thought, absolutely, take my money. At the time, I was still working in the world of real estate. I can tell you at the time, at the very beginning like that, no one wanted some random person in their house. There was still a lot unknown. So I was looking for a way to supplement every penny that I could. We brought those home, laid them on our sidewalk, pressure washed them, and sold every single one of them for $3,500. That is, once you added everything up, we ended up flipping $75 into $3,500. It was not one sale, it was several sales. We ended up going back to Walmart and buying weights as soon as they would restock. I flipped weights for like a month, and I feel like that was really what catapulted me away from real estate and focusing on reselling full time, because even in the midst of a lot of unknown in the country at the time, reselling was there, and I was suddenly making more money reselling than I ever had before. So that's obviously forever going to be one of my best flips. But then there was a time when I stopped off at a random estate sale and there was some silverware there. I asked, how much do you want for the silverware? It was in like this vinyl bag, this vinyl pouch. It was a whole set of silverware. She said $5. I thought it was silver plated. And I was like, I could probably get like 60 bucks out of this. So I gave her $10. I gave her double what she wanted. Guys, I get it home and realize that it's Alvin sterling. It's sterling silver. I put it on eBay for $1,000. It took a couple months to sell, but it did sell full price to a lady in Georgia, plus she paid $12 shipping. From my $10 investment to a $1,000 flip. It's important to notice here, do you think that I would have flipped the weights on Whatnot? Maybe in the beginning when the shipping rules were a lot different, but not today. No, I would not have been able to flip those for that kind of money on Whatnot. Now, do you think that I would be selling sterling silver silverware, a set, for $1,000 on Whatnot? Again, probably not. Those are just the perfect example of knowing your marketplace and knowing that at your disposal as an online reseller, you have several marketplaces. Poshmark attracts a totally different clientele of buyer than what eBay does, and people that, you know, shop on eBay might not shop on Poshmark, vice versa. It's really easy to get wrapped up in the excitement that is Whatnot. I love the app as a buyer and as a seller, but it doesn't have to replace everything else. And singing the praises of Whatnot doesn't mean that you're bashing any other app. But I have sold some things on Whatnot that I never would have been able to sell on eBay, or I never would have been able to sell them as fast priced on eBay. And the amount of work involved would have been so much greater. One of the most noteworthy that comes to mind is when I bought an entire table of magazines. These were like leftover magazines. Everyone had already pulled out their choice magazines. This was everything that was left over on the table for $10. And I felt like an entire table of anything is worth it for $10. So reluctantly, I bought the things. I loaded them up in a suitcase that they gave me. By the way, ended up selling that suitcase later for like $50 plus shipping. But the magazine, I brought those to Whatnot shows and I would start every single one of them at $3. Most of them were Look magazine from the 50s. I had some little like newspapers from the 1930s and stuff, but I started everything at $3. Guys, the first sale, I sold over $500 worth. The second sale on Whatnot, I sold close to $400. It was like $350 something, close to $400 on Whatnot. It would be hard for me to have sold that volume and that amount of magazine. I wouldn't have even been able to list the volume. I had 2 suitcases full, and to have listed 2 suitcases full over on eBay would have taken me so long. Now the shows were several hours long, but it was several really fun hours because Whatnot is a social app. Whereas on eBay, unless the buyer and seller message each other, there's not a whole lot of conversation going on there. But on Whatnot, you're in the room with collectors. It's like, it's an experience. So here I was at $500 and over $300, so like $850. I wanted to ensure that I didn't have some Bolo Look magazine, and since that was the bulk of what I had, what I did was I went to eBay, I typed in Look magazine, and then I filtered by sold, and then I sorted rather by highest to lowest. So this was all the ones that had sold. I wanted the highest price ones, just in case there was some unicorn I knew I needed to look for. Over and over again, I kept coming up with this one Look magazine. It was this one, and it is an incredibly important magazine. It has a very important interview, a dark time in American history, but an important interview nonetheless. While I was selling the magazines that night, starting everything at $3, what do you think I pulled out? And because I had done my research and ensured what does the unicorn look like, if I find the unicorn in the stack, I knew that this magazine was worth a lot more than starting out at $3. Even if the people in the room knew what it was worth, there's not a chance it was going to be bid up from $3 to $500. So I stuck that one to the side and I listed it on eBay. It did not last an hour. It sold for $500. So this is the same haul. I'm using Whatnot and eBay all in the same haul to turn my $10 into over $1,300 with these magazines. You see, again, it's not a non-compete, guys. You can use both apps, and I would encourage you to use both apps because there are some things I would never suggest you to put on eBay and other things I would never suggest you to put on Whatnot, and vice versa. Or if you don't even sell on either app, whatever marketplaces you are currently on, there are just some things. I'm not going to put a china cabinet on eBay, although you can. I mean, you can ship stuff like that. If you're Lavender Clothesline or Cat the Nurse Flipper, you probably are going to ship a china cabinet via U-Ship or something. But most people, you know, we're putting something like that on Facebook Marketplace. My point being, every marketplace has their play. Whatnot and eBay are no different, and they're not mutually exclusive, so stop acting like they are. That being said, taking a good hard look at my eBay store this year and trying to clearance out a lot of those items, it's so easy to take that stuff over to Whatnot and sell, you know, a whole bin of maybe women's clothes that I have had listed over on eBay with no success. I can start those out at $3, $4, $5, and if I sell 100 pieces, that's $300, $400, $500. So I want to encourage you to consider more than one marketplace when you're sourcing, when you're buying, and wait until you hear the story today about what I have sold over on Whatnot that, again, I never would have sold on eBay. I'm going to be showing you guys some things that sold, but one of those, yeah, is a pretty tremendous deal that it's one of my best flips ever, and I did it on Whatnot. Stay tuned for that. It's time to go ship orders. I don't really have a whole lot going out on eBay today, to be honest with you. Thankful to a buyer from the channel, a subscriber purchased 2 items. We're going to combine shipping, so I'll show you guys how to do that and how to do a partial refund because I definitely don't want her paying shipping on both of the items. But let's go see what she bought. All right, here we go. From the home page, we're going to hover over my eBay and click down, go to selling. And then up here at the top, we're going to go to orders and go all the way down to, like, this one, I already shipped it out and now I'm giving the partial refund. So I could see how much the shipping was going to be. So we clicked on paid and shipped. And then from here, I'm going to be able to see what the items actually are. On view order details, there's an arrow right beside that, and we can actually go down to send refund. It's right here. Don't worry that when you click send refund, it's going to refund 100% of it. That's not what's going to happen. So once I click on send refund here, it's actually going to show me each item, exactly how much they paid for this item with shipping on each one. Now at the top here, eBay wants to know the reason for your refund. You can do out of stock, buyer canceled, item not received, buyer return, item not as described, other adjustment, or shipping discounts. So whatever seems to fit the bill here, you will select that. You will write a little note or a letter to your buyer. You can select the refund amount of this. It'll give the order level refund, and then you just click review refund and submit that. Now on this page, you're going to see the refund total. Well, it's going to give me back my charity donation credit, and it's also going to give me back any fee credit, and then it'll show the actual amount I owe on the refund, and that's the amount that's going to be deducted from your funds available or from your card or however you usually pay eBay. The refund is pretty well immediately taken out of your funds. I've seen it at most like within a few hours, but it's not immediately given back to the buyer. Sometimes it can take a day or two. Real quickly also, if you guys have been having the same trouble I have on eBay where like 2 labels are trying to print to 1 piece of paper, as soon as you have your label information here, just click review purchase, and then underneath the total that you're going to pay for the day, it says letter 2 labels per page. Like how that got like that, the world may never know, but we're going to go ahead and click that back down to 4x6. It changed on a lot of people's for some reason. I heard people talking about it. I thought I was safe, and now I see it clearly changed on mine also. So now we can confirm and pay, and I won't have to go into the shipping labels every time and change that. So again, after you have populated your shipping, but right before you confirm and pay, ensure that this says 4x6, because if not, you're going to be in the big trouble that I've been in the last couple weeks, because I keep forgetting to check it, and then you can't change it after you've already populated your label. You can't go back and check it. You have to actually go into your orders, your shipping labels, and print each one for every order individually. And who wants to do that? Hey, I gotta interrupt the video real quick because I'm not sure if you realize what an impact you have when you hit that like button, when you write a comment, or when you share this video with someone. YouTube thinks, man, she's doing something right. And all of those things help keep the channel free. I always want the knowledge and information that you guys gain here to be free. So thank you so much for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing the video. While I'm down here, I also sold one of these. Now this is merch that I have available over on my Whatnot. They're these little wooden signs. I designed them, and a local artisan used like his print, like Glowforge thing to emboss these, engrave into the wood. Anyway, treat your business like your business. Some folks pulled off the top and made these into like refrigerator magnets. One person was like hanging it in their shipping area. Of course, you can hang them as like a Christmas ornament or something like that. Just kind of a fun little reminder. Treat your business like your business. They're on my Whatnot for $9 in my shop. So I'll post a link if anyone's interested in one of those. But when I sell those, until I run out, they're getting sent off in these cute little bags. I found these nice little linen drawstring bags. And then I always put a prayer card in also. A lot of my orders go out with this, especially on Whatnot. I get these from the Dollar Tree. It says today's prayer, and on this side, it always has a different scripture. And you know, I'm like always leaving this up to Holy Spirit, okay? I just reach my hand in and I grab a card. Sometimes I don't even look at what the scripture is, and I pop it in there because I know God is going to show up exactly how someone needs him in that moment. So it could be the scripture that somebody really needs that day. But I like to include those with my merch for sure whenever I'm sending that out on Whatnot. I actually have some Whatnot orders to package up because I said I was gonna have 2 Whatnot shows in the month of January, and I did. I can't believe I only had 2. I thought I was setting the bar so low, but I ended up with so much work the month of January, and it was January 31st, and I was like, I have to have another Whatnot. So I sold kids meal toys, like vintage kids meal and cereal toys on Whatnot, and the show lasted 3 hours and 20 minutes. Back to back to back sales. I ended up with like 45 sales. Some of those were bundles. yeah, like items that I would bundle up, you know, 6 or 9 or even 12 items at a time. So 45, I probably did closer to like 100 actual little toys in the span of 3 hours and 20 minutes. And you might be surprised what some of those little Happy Meal toys can go for if you have some that are old enough. So I was at an auction, an estate auction, and there were a ton of these toys. Like I say, vintage 70s, 80s, and 90s kids meal toys. My husband and I actually did an entire video. We did this really fun video where like we sat in the living room floor and piled all of these, like we poured out the toys in a pile, and it was like a mountain. There were thousands of them. If you want to check out the video, we go through like some of the really cool toys. I'll link it down below in the description. But the toys from that video, I have had so many whatnots. Actually, like, I think I can get on my whatnot. I'm gonna get on my whatnot real quick and pull up how many shows I've had. And you guys saw I still have that entire box left. And let me show you the ones that I sold yesterday that I'm getting ready to package. It's 8 orders total. So I only had 8 buyers. And I sold $201. Now, all of these toys, I really want to say I paid either $60 or $90 for all of them. It's in that video. Let's just err on the side of caution and say, because I think I did. I think I paid $90 for all of these toys. But just in this sale yesterday, which was almost like the leftover items, I sold, like I say, $210 worth. But you'd be surprised on the other 2 sales how much I've sold. So let me get those pulled up on my computer real quick. Oh, but first, this is the $200 worth. They're in these little bread bags with everybody's name, and there's not that many of them here. And this is $200, I said 210. This is $201 worth of vintage Happy Meal toys here. All right, here's the very first one. This was almost a year ago, and it looks like I earned on that particular show $216.91. So let's just start a running total. All right, here's one called More Happy Meal Toys. It looks like it was March 24th, and I sold sold $459 worth of toys, and I earned $384.67. $384.67. So we're up to $601, and there's plenty more shows left. All right, this one that was on April 19th last year was called Your Childhood. And it looks like I sold $140 worth that day for $116.34. $17 so far. I got another one here called Amazing Kids Meal and Cereal Toys on April 22nd. This one was a low show, $58. I made $46.36. All right, this one that's called, I titled it Vintage Toys Galore, and I sold $80 for $64.52. Here's another one, July 14th. These are all the same toys, guys. Vintage Happy and Kids Meal Everything. Sold $79 for $66.60. Here's another one that I had September 18th. I called it Nostalgia Overload. And that day I sold $122. So I made $98.43. Getting close to $1,000 on these. All right, and then here's the one that I just had that I have 8 pending shipments, and I sold $201. That is not the amount that I earned. That is not minus fees yet. I think I'm probably gonna end up being around $180 probably. So out of my $90 original investment, I've sold these toys so far for $1,173.83. But then there were also a couple of them I ended up selling on eBay because they were kind of rare items. There was one called Lieutenant Leg. He was a food fighter, and he sold for like $60. So $1,173.83. So I'm up to $1,233.83 just with that one eBay sale. But I know I've sold like a few things on eBay, and I still have literally an an entire box left. It'd be really cool to get somewhere close to $1,500. I think I know I'll get $1,300 at least. So somewhere probably around $1,350, $1,400 on this $90 buy on vintage kids meal toys. I was not the only person bidding at the auction on these kids meal toys, but I think I was the only one bidding with the intention of taking them to Whatnot. I cannot imagine for the life of me listing these on eBay. I cannot imagine taking these to like a flea market or something and expecting, you know, 25 cents, 50 cents at a time and making my money back. It's been less than a year. I mean, yeah, that's a long time. I could have had these shows faster, more consistently, back to back. I mean, they were very sporadic throughout the last like 8 months, but I have more than 10 times my money. Let's see, divided by 90, 13.7 times my money right now. So I'll end up like 15 times my money on these toys. What is that? What is 90 times 15 is $1,350. Yeah, I will at least 15 times my money on these. And it was a fun atmosphere. It drove traffic to my Whatnot. It satisfied a lot of collectors that were looking for a particular Happy Meal or kids meal toys. They were so fun to look through. I made the YouTube video about it. Let's see, hang on a second. While I'm at it, let's see if the YouTube video itself made anything. Because I did actually end up getting a lot of content out of these. I made a lot of short videos and things. I am still making some shorts off of content that I filmed with these toys. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to get them. But let's just see if the video, okay, I bought 2,000 Happy Meal toys is the video. It has 5,000 views, which isn't like anything stellar, but it's enough to have made, maybe I made like $50 on this. I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out. I usually don't talk about like money made on YouTube or anything like that, but let me show you guys. So the video about the kids meal toys has gotten 5,016 views. I gained 27 subscribers from it, and it's made me almost $32. We're at $1,265.83 off of my $90 investment. And when I bought those, I know some people were like, girl, you're crazy. Now I will preface all of this, well, okay, I guess I will conclude all of this with the caveat that these things lived in our living room for like 4 months. We walked around these bags and boxes of Happy Meal toys. So I'm trying to get better at that this year at not bringing the inventory in here, but where I just showed you that box where I had my Whatnot yesterday, that's in my dining room. So we need to get that box removed. But first I'm gonna wipe down any of these toys since they were someone's collection. Just wipe everything down, package it up super well, and then ship those off via Whatnot. My son Delo's been selling a lot on Whatnot too, and he actually started a YouTube channel. If you guys want to go follow his journeys and what he sells on Whatnot, which is totally different than what I sell on Whatnot. But one thing is, since he's only 17, I can allow him to use my Whatnot, but all of the shows that he does, I have to supervise. So that means me in the room, no matter how long he runs. If he's running until 2 o'clock in the morning, I need to be in there because at the end of the day, I'm responsible for that account. He's only 17. So I gotta show you guys a few things that are absolute must-haves for me when Delo is running a Whatnot and I'm stuck in the room. Delo loves the icy cold in his room. Like, he'll turn on all the fans. So I feel like most of the things I'm going to show you guys are just about me being comfortable and trying to stay warm. One of them is I will make a hot tea. This is a stress balance tea. I really like this one. I am putting it in a mug that Chris Maker sent me. I am the daughter of a king who is not moved by the world, for my God is with me and goes before me. I do not fear because I am his. So I'm going to make a piping hot cup of tea in this mug. Thank you, Chris, for that. And then I had been using this blanket, which is just super soft, but look, this one is a super soft throw, but these aren't just stripes, guys. This is an electric throw blanket. My friends over at Alljoy sent this over. Thank you so much. I'm going to link it down below. It has like 9 different heat settings and different time settings, so you can even just set it on a certain timer. And I plug this thing in and snuggle up with my tea, and I don't even care how long he wants to sell Lego. I'm in the room and I'm all snug. Sometimes I could bring a book in there or something. All right, Delo, you ready to Whatnot?
Yeah, get in here.
That's gonna just about do it for today's video. As always, I thank you so much for watching. God bless, and remember, treat your business like your business.